Hey guys, it's Phinn here. So I just wanted to do a little bit of a kind of opening here. A little disclaimer, this episode has actually been recorded for about a month now. And I was kind of just waiting for Kirrianna to start researching another episode, but it turns out she's just been waiting for me to get this episode out. There's a lot of stuff that we talk about mainly towards the end of this video. But it's been a month, so things have changed. Kirrianna has started doing some streaming. We say at the end, we're going to link all that below. But also, I have released an album and a few more singles since then. So, a lot has happened. And I just wanted to let you guys know that we are not dead. In fact, as we say in the beginning of this episode, and we are going to be continuing on with these podcasts because we really enjoy making them. It just, life's crazy and we're trying to get things settled down so that we can figure out a good kind of time frame and schedule to keep releases coming and not make them, boring or, whatever. If you listen to the end, we will talk a lot about that kind of stuff. We talk about how, I have a really demanding job, which has now changed. I have switched jobs and it is a little bit less demanding, hopefully. Other than that, links will be in the description. You can check out my music. I'm going to have a Spotify, a SoundCloud, and my YouTube channel. I'm still working on getting ASMRs done, and Kirrianna has been doing a little bit of streaming and trying to get into, her content creation as well. So all of that's going to be at the end of this episode. I hope you enjoy this really interesting little story about the Jersey Devil, and we dive a lot into the origins and where it comes from. So enjoy, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Fox and Fish podcast, your home for all things spooky, creepy, and horrifying. My name is Phinn the Fish.
And I'm Kirrianna the Fox.
We're back.
Hi.
We're not dead.
We're not dead, I swear.
So a lot of life stuff happened, and a lot of stuff got in the way, and the podcast is going to be changing a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Kirrianna, you are now in charge of all the podcast researching. Well, most of it.
Yeah, I'm the Pod Fox now.
Yeah, you are the Pod Fox.
Phinn is a little bit bogged down with a lot of different projects. You were working on a lot.
Yeah, I'm working on a lot. We'll get to that towards the end.
And working a lot.
Yeah, and working a lot. Between a bunch of stuff I'm doing, like I said, I'll talk about that at the end of the episode. I just don't have enough time to do the research that I want to do and make it as thorough as I feel like it should be.
The quality level that we wanted to reach.
Yeah, so Kirrianna, thankfully, has graciously offered to basically just take up being the podcast researcher. And my main role is to do all the recording and the editing and stuff, because that's pretty simple and easy for me. I can do that in maybe an hour or so. It's
pretty crazy to watch you edit the podcast, to be honest.
Well, I do a lot with sound, so
yeah, especially the sound part is so many filters in 5 minutes. It's crazy. But this is my podcast now, and you're all my beans, and we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, this is her podcast. We're just living in it.
That's right.
But we did, thankfully. Kirrianna was kind enough to not make me a filthy liar. And she did do the Jersey Devil, which I'm super proud and happy for that, because Kirrianna's not as into cryptids and monsters as much as I am. I love a good creature.
Yeah, it's not a huge difference, but yeah, I would say Phinn is slightly more into cryptid stuff than I am.
Yeah.
I'm more of a conspiracy theory person.
A little bit.
So now that it's my podcast, prepare to go full tinfoil hat, people. And I'm sorry in advance.
Yeah, you were gonna do, I think, giants, and then you were like, you know what? Maybe it'd just be nice to ease back into it with the Jersey Devil since it's been, what has it been, almost a month since the last podcast?
Yeah,
or more?
It's been a long while since our last episode, and like I felt like cryptids would be something somewhat easy to research, easier than I feel like giants would be, because there's just so much that goes into that, and like I felt like the research on that would be very like taking from a lot of different places, because the like whole giants conspiracy theory is just very multifaceted. Yeah. So I felt like cryptids would be a good, for one, just kind of a return to our usual content. Yeah. Like, I feel like Giants is a little bit of a departure, not crazy, but just a little bit. A little bit, but it's still, it fits in the creepy, spooky, or mysterious. Yeah, so. Yeah. Like, I feel like conspiracies are their own kind of creepy. They are. They're not really like Halloween creepy. No. But I find them creepy. They're not like a horror creepy. Yeah. If they reach like a certain level of compelling, they can. Yeah. They definitely can. So, the Jersey Devil. Yes, we are doing the Jersey Devil today. We said we were going to do it, and I still really wanted to do it. And yeah. I'm very happy that you did not make me a liar. It's like, guys, we're going to do the Jersey Devil. And then like a month and a half later, here's our new episode finally. Just kidding, it's giants. Just kidding. But yeah, no, to start off with, I'm curious how much you know about the Jersey Devil, because going into this, I honestly kept confusing the Jersey Devil for Chupacabra. That's so funny. I used to do that when I was younger, because I do remember watching like one of those Monsters and Mysteries in America TV shows. Oh, okay. And they did have like some people that has seen the Jersey Devil, and there was some like talk about in that episode of like there was some similarities to Chupacabra with like how it looks in certain like eyewitness accounts. I could see the silhouette of the descriptions of those two creatures being similar. It's like a Chupacabra with wings. Yeah, and like a slightly elongated face, but it's about the same size, and wings. Did you just say wings? I did say wings. Well, we're gonna say wings twice because it has two. Okay, cool. It does have two wings. That's usually what you need to fly. Usually. But yeah, I don't know a ton about it. I just remember a couple like eyewitness accounts that I've seen on that show, and I'm pretty sure I've watched like some YouTube videos about it before because, you know, I love cryptids. Yeah. But I do remember a couple eyewitness accounts where like there was one where like a couple was driving and like to the right of them was like a wall, like maybe like a 6-foot high wall or something, and I remember them saying like the Jersey Devil was like following them on this wall, like keeping up with them. Oh, that's crazy. I definitely remember like, you know, people talking about it having red eyes and it looks evil and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't remember much else of that. I don't remember like if there was any like eyewitness accounts of it actually like trying to attack anyone, or if it's done anything other than just kind of like showing up. Yeah, creep people out with his mere presence. Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of a theme I noticed with a lot of the eyewitness accounts. I will say I have kind of a disclaimer talking about this too. I go into a lot more of the older eyewitness accounts because for some reason I really wanted to figure out like where the legend of the I almost said the Chupacabra, where the legend of the Jersey Devil came from in the first place. So pretty much every eyewitness account I talk about is from like pre 1950, I want to say. Oh, it goes back that far? Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. I didn't know it went back that far. It goes back like to the 1800s. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. This is like Mothman all over again. I know. Oh God, you have no idea. Oh God. And before we make our way to Russia and Germany. It's actually pretty localized, though. Oh, it is? It's just similar in that it's like this mostly localized like legend that the people in the area like know about. In Jersey, right? Like that's, yeah. Okay, I was gonna say that is. Yeah, it's in New Jersey. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm guessing videos of the eyewitness accounts are really fun to listen to.
I didn't even think of that. Damn, I should have looked up newer accounts just for that. Shit.
I love that. I love Jersey accents. I would love to hear like someone from Jersey explaining like their like encounter with the Jersey Devil. That'd be great.
It was I had a psychology professor that was from Jersey, and like she had moved pretty recently, so she still had her accent pretty strong, and she would talk about being from Jersey, and oh my god, she was the best because she was like kind of crass and cursed a lot, but like also super professional and like knowledgeable. It was this crazy combination of a personality. I loved her.
That sounds awesome.
But yeah,
so let's jump in.
Our story begins in what are referred to as the Pine Barrens. They're located in southern New Jersey, and the Pine Barrens take up about 22% of New Jersey's like total landmass, and it has a very unique ecosystem. The soil is like more sand than soil.
Oh,
and it's very acidic. It lacks a lot of the nutrients that most soil needs to grow like most plants very well. But the plants that do grow there have adapted to like the regular occurrence of fires sprouting in the area all the time. Sometimes they're caused by natural sources like lightning. Sometimes it's like wildfires that people have started. I looked up pictures of the area and it's pretty ominous. The soil is this weird color. The trees are like everywhere and grow really close together. And they're like tall and slender. And then there's just these big stretches of like unsettled area because not a lot of people live here. And then there's just patches of like areas that are just burnt to the ground. So there's like forest, and then there's just like this circle of like burnt to the ground areas.
Kind of reminds me of like there's some places in Red Dead like that.
Yeah.
It's just nothing but trees, and then all of a sudden there's just like a area of blackness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exactly like that. And some of the old architecture is still there in like a really ruined state that's like halfway in the ground and like half crumbled. It looks like the old army settlements that you find in Red Dead.
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's so cool. I honestly would love to visit just because it just has such a creepy vibe to it. Apparently a lot of businesses have tried to set up shop here, but we're literally unable to like sustain business because the area is not only difficult to navigate and sandy and shit, but the plant life relies so heavily on these fires to reproduce that it's just not sustainable to have like permanent structures in this area. And if that wasn't enough, it also has swamps, marshes, and wetlands.
Wow.
It's a very, like, inhospitable area.
Wait, hold on. So the plants rely on the fire.
Yeah, it's happened to the plants for so long in that area that they've literally evolved to the point where they rely on those fires to reproduce.
That's crazy.
Yeah, if those fires suddenly stopped, like, I bet you those plants would either die out or evolve to, like...
Have to re-evolve.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Devolve.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a crazy adaptation.
That is.
Survival through fire.
Literally phoenixes.
Yeah, yeah.
They're literally phoenix plants.
That's that's sick, actually. So then I did a little bit of digging on the origins of the Leeds Devil. The history behind the origins are a bit hazy. Most of the evidence linking the legend to recorded history originates years after the events actually occurred. But I feel it's only appropriate to begin with the most popular legend, starting with the Leeds family. Because the legend was mostly passed down orally and like through news headlines, basically, it's difficult to trace like an exact origin of the cryptid. However, we do know that it was originally known as the Leeds Devil, not the Jersey Devil, which is in reference to either the Leeds family, which is in the story that I'm about to tell, or the nearby Leeds Point in South Jersey.
Okay.
So it's even earlier than the 1800s. In 1735.
Okay. All right.
Deborah Leeds, wife of Japhet Leeds, I believe that's how you say that, was dealing with quite a set of circumstances. The Pine Barrens were obviously pretty inhospitable and scarcely populated. to put it plainly, anybody that did live there were basically just like peasants, like living off the land as best they could kind of situation. Like aristocracy for the most part did not live here. And Deborah, often referred to as Mother Leeds, was pregnant with her 13th child.
Jesus.
Not only is that way too many fucking kids, but she was also very anxious to have a 13th child for superstitious reasons. So apparently she cursed her unborn child. Some versions of the legend say she cursed it herself. Some say that she made a deal with a devil, or, well, not a devil. They said the devil. Either way, in her fear and frustration, she declared the child would be the devil, which, it's like, I feel like they looked at the devil in such a different way, because it's like, if she made a deal with the devil, then why would she say the child would be the devil? The whole thing just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. That, and like, if you're this anxious to have like an unlucky number of children, why would you curse it?
Yeah, I feel like it would be like you do the opposite. Like,
right? Like you take it to a priest and be like, bless my fucking unborn baby, please. I don't want it to be unlucky and like, you know, misfortune befall my household.
Yeah, okay.
But that's the legend. To me, that detail only makes sense if she was worried about being run ragged, having to raise another crotch goblin. Because that's just... Yeah, a crotch goblin. Because that's just, like, I love kids, but holy shit, that's so many children in one house when you're poor already. Like, bruh. As the story goes, the night Mrs. Leeds went into labor was a dark and stormy one, of course. So stormy, in fact, that the family reportedly was huddled in a corner in fear of the torrential downpour of rain and violent winds. By the time the midwife had delivered her umpteenth baby, what came from her body... It was a totally normal baby boy. For mere moments.
Okay.
Suddenly, it began growing fur all over its body. Hooves and claws sprouted from its extremities, horns sprouting from its head, and wings from its back. As he began to grow in front of the family's horrified eyes, his face morphed into a contorted horse-like visage, decorated with glowing red eyes. The midwife dropped the metamorphosizing child in terror, and as Mother Leeds screamed, the creature too let out a chilling, high-pitched shriek. A terrifying sound the creature would come to be known for. And with that, it flew up and out of their chimney, going on to make the inhospitable Pine Barrens its home.
This actually sounds a little familiar to me now. Like I don't know why, but there's something about this that sounds familiar.
I know.
I feel like I might have heard this story somewhere.
Yeah, and I felt kind of the same way when I had heard it. And it's told in this very, like, you know, old wives' tale style, I guess. Just like a thing that people talk, like a story people tell each other that's passed down just by virtue of it being interesting.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of an overview of the general legend. Like, there's different versions, but each version just has slight variations on the same, like, situation. Like, some of them would say, like, the family was doing something different. Like, some stories say, like, the midwife was, like, devoured or something, or attacked by the demon before it flew away or whatever. But, yeah, essentially, it's just kind of like a 1700 version of Rosemary's Baby, like, really quickly.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, I'd like to get into the eyewitness accounts now that you kind of have the general overview. And before I get into those eyewitness accounts, I was talking about that preface earlier. Like I said, I wanted to find the earliest reports I could. A lot of these stories were told in like small communities between friends. Not much was written down about the creature until later. Because of that, what I found has multiple versions similar to the legend. But most of them have like the slight details changed. And for the sake of full transparency, the following eyewitness accounts reflect what I found, but I did add a little bit of my own storytelling spice to make them like less boring and short. Because most of them were literally like half a paragraph, like maybe 2 or 3 sentences max.
That was one of the things I do remember, like, when I did like decide I wanted to do the Jersey Devil, was one of the things I was worried about, because, you know, I am a big fan of cryptids and like Bigfoots and stuff, but like, you know, you could pick like
one of like 50 different types of Bigfoot and have like 300 stories for each type of Bigfoot.
Oh,
Like Mothman, there was like, a year where he was like being seen all over the place. And then of course we found out that he was being seen in other places in the world as well. Yeah. But then, you also have, skinwalkers have tons of stories, regardless of how true they are, like whether they are actual eyewitness accounts or just, stories made for fun.
Right.
There's a ton of them to find.
Oh, yeah.
The Jersey Devil, anytime I could recall watching a video or like seeing watching a TV show where they're talking about the Jersey Devil, they're always pretty quick stories. It's like, we're driving down the road and then this thing started running, alongside us or like was flying around the air and stuff. And then that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's even with the older ones. Like all these stories are like pre-2000s, like literally like early 1900s at the like most recent.
Wow.
Like 1909 at the most recent.
Oh.
And they were like literally like just like 3 or 4 lines of text. Just like the shortest summary you could ever hear.
That's weird.
And I looked up like different versions of the same eyewitness account and they're all that short. But most of them have like the same through line. So,
yeah.
I said, I spiced it up a little bit, but I kept like the information that I found consistent.
Okay.
So, first eyewitness account is from Joseph Bonaparte, who, to be honest, I had no idea existed. It's Napoleon Bonaparte's brother.
I was wondering, yeah.
Yeah. He was an exiled, dethroned king of Spain and Naples. He sequestered himself in Bordentown, New Jersey. He was basically, like, exiled as Queen of Spain just because, there was, like, tensions between them and another nation, and the other nation, I think France, took over where he was ruling in Spain, so he basically just, like, didn't have right to royal lead anymore because the French took over, so he just kind of had to leave, and he took refuge in New Jersey, of all places.
So he's just as much of a fuck-up as his brother.
Yeah.
I mean, they both got exiled, so...
Yeah.
They both fucked up somewhere.
Yeah. He built a quaint little mansion on a teeny plot of land, some 800 acres.
Jesus. Man.
Just a little mansion on 800 acres.
God.
His encounter with the Jersey Devil takes place on this massive property where he was hunting in the nearby forests. It was a snowy afternoon, and Joseph, rifle in hand, happened upon strange tracks in the snow. He describes them as resembling donkey tracks, but they seemed very suspicious to Joseph. They resembled the canter of like a 2-legged animal, and one hoof appeared larger than the other. So he's seeing like a 2-legged animal's canter, but with hooves, and one hoof looks bigger than the other.
Yeah, and like, for those, if you don't understand what that means, like the canter of an animal, I used to hunt, and what that basically means is like, if you're looking at tracks, you can kind of see how an animal is walking. For one, you can kind of tell how many hooves or like feet or whatever an animal has based on the walking pattern. If you take, a person in the snow and they walk, you can see clearly foot.
And the spacing will be different depending on how fast they're moving.
Yeah, exactly. Right? If they're running or jogging or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you take, a deer or a dog, you'll see like the hoof prints like behind each other. You'll see all 4 hooves as they're walking. And then of course you can see whether they're trotting or they're running or whatever based on how much of an imprint is in the ground. And also, like, how far apart they are. And then you can also, like, look at, like, the ground and see if it's disturbed. Obviously, if an animal's running, they're more likely to, like, kick up dirt or leaves or whatever and make more of a mess as they're running around. It's weird that he describes one hoof larger than the other.
Yeah, I never saw...
Is that a normal thing?
I never saw that come up again.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it just kind of is like a little narrative detail to just add to the like weirdness of it.
Maybe, or like, I don't know. I can't imagine why this particular one would have that, and if no other one does.
Not that I found.
And he says this is a two-legged?
Yeah, the canter is like, it looked like a two-legged hooved animal.
Is that like a through line in all these? No? Because I was gonna say, like, I swear, I remember seeing on that TV show, like, they had the CGI Jersey Devil, like, replica of what it looked like, and, like, yeah, it was, like, running on all fours.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this little tiny little guy just, like, waddling around, and then, like, one hoof is a little bigger, so he probably has, like, a slow, weird limp, who looks like a little, like, goblin dude from, like, Harry Potter or something.
Just a little guy, just a cute little imp, he just wants some cookies.
He's just a little guy.
I love him now.
A little imp from RuneScape.
Oh, hell yeah. I keep wanting to call him, fucking a different name, but Joseph. So Joseph sees these very strange tracks, and obviously he's hunting, so he's gonna investigate it.
Of course.
He followed the tracks for a while until they ended very abruptly. Like, too abruptly. Like, it's as if the creature just flew away mid-stride. He couldn't see any other path but airward. The snow should have given some indication as to where this creature went, but the tracks just straight up ended. And as Joseph is just kind of sitting there pondering this, he just hears a loud hiss, and his gaze darts toward the source of it, and he was met with quite a sight, it sounds like. Large winged creature with the legs of a bird, as he describes it, and the face of a horse was staring him down, and in that moment he completely forgot he was holding a rifle. He really forgot most things, really. He and the creature just kind of stood there frozen, staring at each other, in a stalemate of wills. Or perhaps Joseph was just entranced by this otherworldly creature staring at him with the superior curiosity we do when we observe an insect. The trance was broken in an instant when the creature took flight, letting out the signature screech as it soared into the wilds of New Jersey.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A large creature.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like the Jersey Devil to me.
No, to me it's like at least half the size of an average size American adult. I'm thinking when I think the Jersey Devil, I think of like the size of like a toddler, like a 6-7-year-old or something. Yeah, like 3.5, 4 foot.
Tallish, yeah, like I'm thinking
on 2 legs.
Yeah, but like for some reason, when I always picture the Jersey Devil, it's like very like scrunched, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, because a lot of the depictions I've seen, he has like a big long snout and like a small hunchback.
Yeah,
kind of situation.
This thing almost sounds like the Jersey Devil went and had an affair with the Mothman.
Oh God. Abomination.
That is an abomination.
That's fucking terrifying sounding.
I love that the Mothman is just like our go-to now. Just because it was our first episode.
Yeah, well, Mothman is fucking based, though.
He's awesome.
He's so sick, dude.
I love Mothman. I want a Mothman plushie.
I would love some Mothman merch, dude. Plushie, t-shirts. Fuck yeah. So, Joseph was quite a socialite. I mean, yeah, he was exiled, but he was still, aristocracy. Had huge property in a mansion. He was rich, had rich friends.
Of course.
But he was also very foreign to the area at the time. So when he, went to be like, dude, guess what I saw? They told him that he'd seen the Leeds Devil. He didn't apparently know that until they told him.
Okay.
Allegedly. The story fascinated him so much that he apparently kept an eye out for the creature for years afterwards, hoping to catch a glimpse of it again. But eventually he left the US to do other things, and he never made contact with it again.
Huh. That's such an interesting story.
Yeah, right? And it's just so almost uneventful.
Yeah.
But also, I could kind of, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds uneventful, but I mean, if you were to put yourself in that in like his shoes,
That's fair. Yeah, that'd
like,
be huge.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm walking, like a very quick little story to kind of that actually happened to me. It has nothing to do with this. Has nothing to do with cryptids or anything. But this is a quick little story that actually happened to me. Me and my parents used to go walk our dogs at this cemetery that was close by our house, just because it had a really nice like walking path, and it wasn't super like people didn't go there very often, and when they did, it was literally to walk. Like they just had a walking path. Actually. So we took our dogs there all the time, and nothing happened. We have a golden retriever and an Akita, and all of a sudden, at one point during our walk, both of our dogs just start staring into the woods.
Ooh.
And they're like they're walking, and then but they're like their heads are not even looking where they're walking. They're like just staring at a certain part of the woods.
Oh, fuck that.
And like, me and my parents are like, what are you looking at? Like, what do you, is there a deer over there? But like we kept looking, and we couldn't find anything. Like we were looking over to the woods, and eventually the conclusion that me and my dad came to was that there had to have been like maybe coyotes there, because we have a lot of them in that area.
Okay, yeah, fair.
Like, so there like nothing happened. We didn't see anything. Nothing actually happened, but like in the moment, that was a pretty scary thing just to have our dogs, like, because they weren't just staring too. Like there was like little like little like growls and barks, and like, tail straight up in the air. Like Saber, my Akita, his ears are fully perked up, and he's like on high alert. Yeah, to the point where like, my dad, he has CCW, like he had his hand on his gun expecting like, like a couple coyotes to come out of the woods or something.
That's concealed carry for those that don't know.
Yeah, concealed carry weapon. He was carrying a pistol.
That's actually crazy. That is a goosebump moment.
Yeah. Like, and it's those types of stories where like, yeah, nothing really happened, but like if you're there in that moment, that's a terrifying thing to like have a couple of dogs going crazy and like staring at a specific part in the woods, and you don't see anything.
Yeah, there. And you're just responding to body language. Joseph like had a full on like
he looked at it,
stared at it.
Yeah, he looked. He had a stare down.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. You put it into a good perspective. After that happening, and this kind of seemed like something that happened before this eyewitness account and after, but there were like a lot of posses hunting the Leeds Devil.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially around,
media attention on occasion. I found a lot, like a fairly good amount of like old newspaper headings about the Leeds Devil.
Yeah.
And word of mouth, obviously spreading tales of the Jersey Devil roaming around in the southern New Jersey area. One such posse reported to have actually found their target. The posse formed of regular citizens, had the creature on the defensive, actually. They managed to follow its trail. It had left footprints, or I guess hoofprints in its wake, and they managed to chase it to the edge of a wooded area. They didn't want to go much closer because they were in kind of an open area, and they didn't want to chase it into the woods. That's self-explanatory.
Yeah, that's just like Tactics 101.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to go into its territory. You want to keep it in yours. And
you don't want to go into a place where it can ambush you.
Yeah, so even though they had it on the defensive and it was running, they just basically stopped dead in their tracks. But curiosity still got the better of them, and for some reason they yelled out at the creature, "If you're the devil, rattle your chains."
What?
Allegedly, a lot of such encounters were commonly reported of people hunting the cryptid and shouting at it to rattle its chains. And I could not find a version of this story where chains were indeed confirmed to have rattled or not.
What? That's so weird. Rattle your chains.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop too. So I did some digging on that. The phrase seems super weird to me, but it ties back to like basically just Christianity. the devil and chains are like symbols tied together representing like captivity and torture in hell, basically. It's like literally like, you know, the idea of hell being like just a torture dungeon essentially thing.
Fire, brimstone, lake of fire.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Similarly, it's also like, you know, tied to ghosts, which makes more sense to me. I've heard of that. Wandering spirits. It's kind of like a imagery.
To this world
exactly.
Or this plane, yeah.
Yep.
Your chains.
Yeah, but it also got me wondering why people are conflating what we nowadays would consider a cryptid with like the actual devil of Abrahamic belief. And we'll revisit that question in a little bit.
That was another thing too, that I kind of forgot to really ask, I guess, or bring up in the beginning is like, there is a reason this is called the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Like that, which is because that's something I didn't really think about.
Me neither.
Is that it's just, this is called the Jersey Devil because it kind of looks a little demonic, I guess.
Yeah, but it seems like its origins are actually like tied to like a demon looking thing.
Yeah.
And they thought of it in that way.
Yeah, which is pretty common, I guess, for especially back in the day. Like anything that was considered evil or like not normal would be considered like the devil or a demon or something.
I mean, shit, a lot of people still do that.
Yeah, people still do that to this day. But I'm just saying, like, even back then, it was even more.
Oh yeah, that was like the default. Yeah,
that was the default. If there was an evil person, that person's a son of the devil. I tell you what.
Yeah, it did be like that.
But like, this is like actually tied to that. Like,
yeah,
and I still can't get over that. The Leeds devil like story, like
I know,
so weird to me.
I know, it's such a like, it's just like a classic legend.
It's like, I'm scared of this happening, so I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah, and that started getting me questioning. That's part of why I wanted to look into the origins of where the Jersey Devil comes from in the first place, because like all of these things just didn't fit in with like our current understanding of the Jersey Devil. So I wanted to figure out where it came from and like how the people back then thought about it.
Yeah. I didn't even know it was from the 1700s.
I had no idea. I thought it was like recent, like, you know, Mothman level.
Yeah, recent. I thought it was like, you know, maybe 1960s, 70s-ish type thing.
But no, people have been telling the story for like hundreds of years.
Yeah. I was going to say too, that's actually an interesting thing I just thought about now is like, that is kind of when a lot of cryptids I feel like started really sprouting up. Like the Bigfoot video, that really famous clear Bigfoot shot in the thing, that was in 68, I think it was.
Really?
Which is around like, you know, Mothman, like the very first sightings of Mothman, I believe. It was around that same time.
Oh, wow.
Which we talked about in the Mothman episode. Go watch that first episode, the Mothman. It's very good.
It's a really good one. I actually love revisiting that episode.
It's very fun.
I agree.
Despite there are some tragedies in it, I feel like it was a pretty fun episode because Mothman does save some lives.
Yeah, Mothman seems like a chill dude.
Yeah, he seems pretty cool.
I'd love to shake his hand.
Yeah, I want to see what's under his trench coat.
I want to see that cake.
That statue, man.
Boy got the yeah. Oh God. Well, on that note.
Yeah. On the note of yeah.
Our next eyewitness account is from one distinguished gentleman, Commodore Stephen Decatur. I want to say his last name is pronounced.
Seems that way. I wonder if.
That's the I googled the pronunciation. That's what it was Decatur. I was gonna pronounce it Decatur.
Yeah, I could see that too.
But I
was actually more considering the first name.
Oh, Commodore is
No. Stephen.
Oh, okay.
Or Stephen.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I know someone with like the name Stephen, and that's how it's pronounced, or that's how it's spelled.
Oh yeah, with the PH. I did not think to look that up.
Yeah, I
was just gonna call him Stephen without a second thought.
I would say Stephen, but it could be Stephen.
Well, I'll just call him Decatur.
Fair enough. That's a cool name.
It is. He was a U.S. naval officer with the title Commodore, born in 1779. He was quickly promoted from a young age, like 25.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is young.
Due to his ability to lead, take care of his men, and for the development and overseeing of many projects, including like developing the like logistics and infrastructure of the Navy itself.
Oh wow!
And like to the construction of weaponry.
Okay, so this is like a prodigy type guy.
Yeah, legit.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean he was involved in like some like pretty problematic conflicts. Of course, this is early America.
Yeah,
we haven't changed.
But like the fact that this is like a prodigy type of guy, who's like, no, this is someone who like actually knows what he's doing. It seems like,
yeah, like he was a big dog playing in the Navy,
yeah,
for sure. One such operation he had commissioned was cannonballs being forged at a place called the Hanover Mill Works.
That's why you asked me about cannonballs.
Yes, I did. I was asking if cannonballs are considered artillery because I used that word in my script. He made a visit to check on the project, and seeing that everything seemingly was going to plan, he decided to go have some fun on their nearby shooting range where they tested their cannonballs.
Oh, yeah.
Which, fair enough.
Yeah.
I would too. That sounds fun as fuck. He fired off a few cannonballs, admired their destructive capabilities and the efficacy of the work being done here, always observing carefully, as he did.
Mm-hmm.
Just as he was inspecting the damage from behind the cannon, and more artillery was being loaded, Stephen noticed something. A creature flying directly over the range. Yet its shape and size immediately put him on edge. It matched the classic description of the Leeds Devil to a T. Realizing his cannonball had been loaded, Stephen aimed the cannon directly at the creature, and seemingly hit his mark perfectly, which he expected as much.
That's a little crazy.
Man was confident.
I mean, like, even still, like...
I mean, he was a Navy officer. That's what they do. They had cannons.
That is what they do, yes, but shooting something that's flying through the air with a cannon.
That's like shooting an oversized clay pigeon with a cannon.
Yeah, you're how are you aiming the cannon up that high?
With the help of 4 underpaid interns.
Probably.
If they paid them at all, they were probably indentured servants, to put it mildly, to put it very nicely. What he did not expect was the creature's reaction, because there was a hole blown in this creature. Literally, like, in the story, they say there was a clear hole blown in it. There was no reaction. And yet, it just continued to fly like nothing fucking happened in this story. And the sight of it shrugging off a whole-ass cannonball haunted him for years to come, according to this story.
I would imagine.
After the cannon incident, strange tracks had been sighted in the fields surrounding the area, and a small group attempted to employ bloodhounds to track it. But the dogs were fucking terrified. They refused to obey commands, and ultimately the creature escaped, never to be seen again.
Okay. Just a whole-ass cannonball.
Just a whole-ass cannonball.
All right.
Just walk it off.
Just walk it off. Or in this case, I guess just fly it off.
Yeah, just fly it off. Just flap it off.
Just flap it off.
So, in 1909, following this incident, eyewitness reports out of the southern region of Jersey skyrocketed. Newspaper headlines abounded, reporting almost 1,000 tales of encounters with it.
Wow!
Panic spread so wide in the area that people essentially went into lockdown for a while, like COVID style.
Ooh, whoa.
Yeah, like, people barricaded themselves in their homes. Schools even canceled for a while.
Damn.
Other people made even bigger posses and made their way into the Pine Barrens and like the surrounding woodlands to try to hunt the beast, like en masse. There were like hundreds of little eyewitness accounts I found while researching. Even in modern times, stories I've encountered with the Leeds Devil are like plentiful. I didn't get like into those to recount them on the podcast, but there are so many.
Wow, okay.
There's just hundreds.
You want to go to Jersey?
Dude, I'm down. The Pine Barrens look like inhospitable and creepy, and I want to go there.
That sounds... You're going to have to show me pictures after this.
I would, yeah, for sure. We might put some up on the YouTube channel if you watch it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Just a couple.
Yeah, that'd be easy.
No biggie. Cool.
That'd be easy.
Cool. Sick. Thanks, dog. You're a real one. Punch my hand about it. So, back to, like, the real origins of the Jersey Devil. Because obviously, I found the legend. But like I said, it just sounds like one of those stories.
Yeah, it really does seem like a wives' tale type thing. It like, for some reason, it almost reminds me of like the story of like the witch, like the story, the movie,
the Vivitch.
Yeah, the Vivitch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's a very similar kind of like just extraordinary things happening.
Yeah,
that like. Yeah, we were all there. We all saw it, Like,
yeah.
It was like we were there. Like our kid threw up an apple and died. I think that's what happened in that movie.
I don't know. That movie feels like a fever dream I had when I got like a really bad sickness and was in bed with like fucking
swine flu.
Yeah, legit. Just like fucking. I barely remember that movie, but I remember watching it. I think I might have seen it twice actually.
I watched it with you. We watched it together.
Oh yeah, we did watch it together.
Yeah,
it was enjoyable.
It was.
It was just weird.
It was. That's just the type of like vibe I get from that story though.
Yeah, for sure, which is why I really wanted to like dive into where this shit came from, because it's fascinating, but also like my disbelief is not suspended. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes like I can just suspend my disbelief if I see a Bigfoot video and think, man, maybe.
Yeah.
Like maybe.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, like the video you were talking about, like I've watched multiple like, synopsis of both sides of like, no, it's a hoax, like, no, it's real, and I'm still undecided.
Yeah.
It's a really good video.
It's a great video.
The circumstances around it are kind of suspicious, but
yeah.
That might be a good one to do a podcast episode on, actually.
I'd love to talk about different Bigfoots.
Let's go, dude.
That would be I feel like that would be like a season.
Yeah, that would be like a multi-part series, yeah.
Like I said, there's so many different, like, species of Bigfoot.
In so many different parts of the world.
I mean, we could go into the mountain monsters and talk about the Bigfoot that has, like, mind control powers.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
We're gonna get the God Hammond out for this one.
God helmet, oh my god. If you don't know what the God helmet is, please go.
You're missing out.
Yeah, like just YouTube God helmet. You'll find it, I'm sure.
I might find the link because when I tried to look it up to show you, it took me a little bit to find it.
Fair enough.
So I'll send you the link and we'll link it where we can. It's so fucking funny. That shit killed me. It's a long video, but it's so worth it.
It's very funny.
Oh my god.
But yeah, there's supposedly a Bigfoot with like mind control powers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a more advanced species than we are, and that's why they keep their distance.
And supposedly maybe works with the Mothman. I'm not joking. That's like a actual like little conspiracy like within the Bigfoot like
Wait,
cryptid
really?
community. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Dude, I have to look that up.
Yes.
That sounds ridiculously fun.
We need to talk about crazy Bigfoots.
Let's go. Oh, I didn't realize there were like that crazy of variations. I was thinking like, we've got the brown Bigfoot that's like in a forest. We've got like the Yeti that's in snow.
They have like their own languages.
What?
Yeah, there's like their own Bigfoot languages.
They don't just smack trees and go, or
some of them do. Some of them
do.
smack trees. Some of them have like a howl. Some of them have like a chittering, like a chatter sound.
Like when a cat's hunting something kind of sound?
Not quite. It's a little bit like that, yeah.
It's like the same cadence, but a different sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, there's a whole video there's like a whole thing where, the very popular Bigfoot video of like, there's no Bigfoots on camera, but you can hear them like yelling and like talking kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And like that video was like analyzed and like they analyzed the sound and like, yeah, a human can't make those noises.
Interesting.
Anyway, Bigfoot rant over. Sorry.
Future episode.
Future season, probably.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I would love to just delve into Bigfoots.
Yeah, I'm so down, dude. But yeah, origins. Some individuals suggest that Mother Leeds corresponds to the historical figure Deborah Leeds. Because in a lot of the legends, she's just called Mother Leeds. It's not always Deborah. Like, they just think that Mother Leeds' character is Deborah Leeds.
Okay.
This assertion is based on the fact that Deborah Leeds' husband, Japhet Leeds, mentioned 12 children in his drafted 1736 will, aligning with the legend's narrative. Additionally, Deborah and Japhet Leeds raised in the Leeds Point area, now situated in Atlantic County, New Jersey, a location frequently associated with the Jersey Devil tale. Brian Regal, a historian specializing in the history of science at Keene University, I want to say that's pronounced.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. He proposes that the tale of Mother Leeds does not stem solely from the account of an individual historical figure, but rather originates from the reputation of the prominent Leeds family in the southern region of colonial-era New Jersey, because the time period that this is taking place in is similar to when we were talking about, what was the last episode?
The Roanoke.
Yes, Roanoke. It's kind of in that time period. Obviously, it's later when, areas were a bit more settled and, we kicked more people out of their homes and stuff, but...
Yeah. We're good at that.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's the one thing we're good at, I would say. Well, I guess we're... Never mind. Moving on. So, within this particular area, and probably most of America at that time, religious and political disputes were prevalent and often became the subject of local folklore and gossip. Regal suggests that over time, folk legends surrounding these historical disputes evolved and eventually gave rise to the modern legend of the Jersey Devil in the early 20th century. He argues that colonial-era political intrigue involving influential figures such as New Jersey politicians Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, wow.
And Franklin's rival...
Ben Frank is in here.
Yeah. Yeah, bet you didn't think that Ben Franklin was going to be...
I might keep that in. That was funny.
Phinn, why are you exposing me for the big old derp that I am?
Because it's funny.
I love you.
Love you too.
So, yeah, Benjamin Franklin be up in this story. His rival almanac publisher Daniel Leeds led to the portrayal of the Leeds family as monsters.
Oh.
Yeah. Daniel, I believe, was Japhet's son.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was his son, I believe. It was Daniel Leeds' negative depiction as the Leeds Devil, rather than any actual creature, that laid the groundwork for the later emergence of the Jersey Devil legend.
Wait, so you're saying, Ben Franklin is, potentially responsible for the Jersey Devil legends?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Similar to the legendary Mother Leeds associated with the Jersey Devil myth, Daniel Leeds' third wife bore 9 children, an unusually high number for that era. Tragically, Leeds' second wife and first daughter both perished during childbirth. Daniel and his family held prominent status in South Jersey and the Pine Barrens regions. As a loyal royal surveyor, Daniel acquired land in the Egg Harbor area situated within the Pine Barrens, which later became known as Leeds Point. This location is now closely linked with the Jersey Devil legend and alleged sightings. In the 17th century, English Quakers established settlements in southern Jersey, including the Pine Barrens area. Daniel Leeds, a respected Quaker figure in pre-revolution colonial southern New Jersey, faced ostracism from his Quaker community following the publication of his almanacs in 1687. His almanacs contained astrological symbols and writings considered pagan and blasphemous by his fellow Quakers, which led to censorship and destruction by the local Quaker community, of course. And despite facing this censorship, Daniel Leeds persisted in publishing increasingly esoteric astrological Christian writings and developed a deep fascination with Christian occultism, mysticism, cosmology, demonology, angelology, and natural magic.
Ew, okay.
Yeah, this man he's like me.
He's in there.
He loves the old shit.
He's in there.
he loves that, primordial esoteric shit, and I respect it.
Me too.
In the 1690s, after his almanacs and writings were once again condemned as blasphemous or heretical by the Philadelphia Quaker Meeting, which is an official,
Bible club?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just the established,
church
group
yeah.
Pretty much. They were one of the Quaker authorities of the area, basically. is what I'm trying to say. But words do be difficult. So, Leeds engaged in further disputes with the Quaker community after this, and then he also converted to Anglicanism and authored anti-Quaker tracts that criticized Quaker theology and accused them of being anti-monarchists, which they very much were, and they were proud of it. These were the people looking to revolt against the British. We're talking Benjamin Franklin, so they were like, yeah,
Frank.
Yeah, they were like, duh. In the ensuing conflict with the Southern New Jersey Quakers over his accusations, Leeds received support from the controversial British Royal Governor of New Jersey, Lord Cornbury, great name by the way, who was disliked by many Quakers. Leeds also served as a counselor to Lord Cornbury during this period. Lord Cornbury was perceived as a traitor for his allegiance to the crown and rejection of Quaker beliefs. Leeds was subsequently denounced as evil by the Quaker Burlington meeting of southern New Jersey, and then in 1700, the local South Jersey Quaker community countered Leeds's anti-Quaker tracts with their own publication titled Satan's Harbinger Encountered, being something by way of answer to Daniel Leeds.
Oh my god!
Publicly accusing Leeds of collaborating with the devil.
Wow.
Holy shit. So, later in 1716, Titan Leeds, Daniel's son, inherited his father's almanac business, which maintained its use of astrological content, and entered into competition with Benjamin Franklin's renowned Poor Richard's Almanac. This is when the Benjamin Franklin comes up. The rivalry between the two men intensified in 1733, when Franklin humorously utilized astrology in his almanac to predict Titan Leeds' demise in October of the same year. Although Franklin's prediction was intended as a jest, to boost almanac sales and poke fun at his competitor, Titan took much offense to this death forecast. He publicly criticized Franklin as a fool and a liar for this prank, and in response, Franklin playfully mocked Titan Leeds' outrage by suggesting that he had indeed perished, according to the earlier prophecy, and was now authoring his almanacs as a ghost, risen from the grave to torment Franklin.
Jesus.
Benjamin Franklin, the OG troll.
I didn't realize it was that much of a troll.
I know. And even after Titan actually died in 1738, Franklin continued to humorously refer to him as a ghost.
Oh my god,
yeah,
savage.
Fucking absolutely savage.
Holy
this man.
shit.
The combination of Daniel Leeds' controversial reputation for his supposed blasphemous beliefs and support for the monarchy in the predominantly anti-monarchist colonial South of New Jersey, excuse me, along with Benjamin Franklin's subsequent portrayal of Titan as a ghost, likely played a role in the emergence or development of the local folklore surrounding the Leeds Devil in the Pine Barrens. Also in 1728, Titan made a notable addition to his almanacs by incorporating the Leeds family crest onto the masthead of the book. It featured two wyverns, and I'm sure the nerds out there are familiar. It's like a dragon that has its two back legs, but no front legs. It kind of uses like its wings as its like front arms.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. According to Regal, the depiction of the wyvern on the Leeds family crest bore a suspicious resemblance to the popular descriptions of the Jersey Devil. So a lot of people think that that's where the imagery of the Jersey Devil comes from.
Oh,
because they were demonizing.
I'm gonna have to see this, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very simple like family crest. It's like it would be very stereotypically on like a generic like medieval shield and action RPG nowadays.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just like two wyverns facing away from each other with like a red background.
Oh, sounds cool though.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. The incorporation of this emblem into Leeds' almanac could have further tarnished the reputation of the Leeds family among locals and potentially influenced the prevailing descriptions of the Leeds Devil or Jersey Devil. The menacing appearance of the wyvern on the crest, coupled with the growing resentment among residents of South Jersey towards royalty, aristocracy, and nobility, groups associated with family crests, may have contributed to the propagation of the legend of the Leeds Devil and the association of the Leeds family with demonic entities and monsters.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. So, honestly, that honestly makes so much sense to me.
It does. It really does.
Like, you've got this family competing with, like, the majority. Like, you know, they've got these beliefs that, like, the group that they're in doesn't hold anymore.
Yeah.
He's, like, you know, apologetic to the monarchs, and, like, everybody else is like, nah, fuck them. We want to, like, we're basically, like, getting ready to, like, sign the Declaration of Independence and go to war with these bitches.
Yeah.
Like, why are you bending over to, you know, worship them? Which is funny, because, like, I've heard that I'm actually descended from Quakers.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
like, my somewhat immediate, like, great-great-grandparents or something were Quakers.
Oh.
Yeah. And I've heard, I don't know if this is true, because this is, like, just stuff that I've heard from my family, but I've heard that one of the reasons they wanted to separate is because they were more conservative than the British.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you've got these, you know, super tight butthole
extremely
conservative
uptight.
Yeah. People that were like, you know, they were in their own club, and then you've got like the Leeds family that's like, nah, we're kind of into this like esoteric stuff, and like we're like still kind of down with the British monarchy. You know, they would want to ostracize them because they don't want those ideas spreading. That's like one of the main reasons that I've heard that they moved over here and took the land and wanted to separate from Britain.
Right.
So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me, to be honest.
It does, unfortunately.
Yeah, it really unravels the whole mystery behind the Jersey Devil, but I guess that's what I set out to do for myself.
I mean, yeah, but my thing is, too, is like, just to play devil's advocate, pun intended, like, there are still eyewitness accounts, at least supposedly.
So many, too.
Yeah, like, again, supposedly.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess I have a tiny bit of faith that, like, if there's literally thousands of eyewitness accounts, some of those people had to have seen something.
And for such a long time.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that's been in, like, the zeitgeist of humanity for hundreds of years.
I've known about the Jersey Devil as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Just, you know, I mean, again, I'm a horror nerd that has been on the internet since I was, you know, allowed to be, like, since I could read, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I had, you know, I lived in a house where we had computers all the time, and, like, I was allowed on the internet, obviously somewhat regulated, of course, you know, somewhat monitored. Mm-hmm. But, like, when YouTube came out, especially...
Oh, yeah.
You know, And
back then, it was, like, cryptid and conspiracy theory central.
Oh, yeah, it was a perfect place for that. And, like, you know, especially watching all the, you know, Monsters and Mysteries in America episodes on YouTube now, because you were able to do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, like On Demand, I remember having that as a kid and, like, being able to watch all the spooky monster shows I wanted to. Mm-hmm. And, like, I remember hearing about the Jersey Devil so much.
Yeah.
And, like, all the cryptids, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like Mothman, Bigfoot, all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it's funny to me that, like, we have what seems to be a pretty clear-cut, like, this is where it came from, and, you know, this is what it is. It's just, you know, just a bunch of rich people fighting, and eventually someone was like, look at these fucking demons over here worshiping the devil.
The devil.
Giving birth to Satan. But, like, yeah, like, there's still thousands of people that are seeing something.
But yeah, I would pretty much agree. My conclusion kind of summarizes what we just said. Like, for me personally, it seems like the rampant demonization of the Leeds family mostly contributed to the origin of the Leeds Devil. But, you know, we keep a pretty open mind. And while many of the accounts and stories of this, like, demon-like winged creature, I could see some of them being shrugged off as just, you know, people seeing something similar, knowing the stories, and then just attributing it to that. But there are just so goddamn many sightings, and they're so widespread in specifically New Jersey, too.
Yeah.
That, you know, I don't know. Obviously, we probably won't know.
Yeah.
But...
unless we take that trip to Jersey.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. Let's go hunt us a Jersey Devil. But my heart also goes out to the Leeds family. And people like them for being outcasts over like esoteric beliefs like that and like standing up for what they believe in.
Yeah.
It's a shame to lose like, you know, people that probably knew more about those older religions, because, you know, I love researching that stuff. It's one of my favorite things. It's so cool. And yeah, it's just kind of sad to have probably lost that. I wonder if I could find some copies of his almanac though.
I wonder, yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd love to look up those.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Jersey Devil, ladies and germs. Ladies and gentlemen.
That was not where I thought it was going to go.
Not even close to where I thought it was going to go.
Benny Frank.
Good old Benny Frankie.
Benny Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin.
Well, that is the Jersey Devil. Let's talk a little bit about the podcast and each other, well, ourselves, I guess, for a second, because there is some news coming from both of us.
Yeah.
So, as I said in the beginning, I have a lot of projects going on, and I'm also just working a lot. Being a supervisor in a fast food place sucks.
Yeah.
You work a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when you're one of the main closing supervisors.
Yeah, Finn's been like fucking just pulling weight at that place for hours.
And on top of that, I have music, and finally my first ASMR roleplay has been uploaded literally a few hours before we started recording this.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I uploaded it.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't even tell me until now?
No, I didn't.
Oh my god, babe, congrats!
So I have currently 4 songs out. I have my first one is called Rain, and then I have ASM Murder, Feed Repeat, and my first single for my upcoming album called Horror Stories is Creature Feature.
They're so good, you guys.
So if you're interested in horrorcore, dark trap, kinda spooky sounding music with a lot of bass,
bumping bass.
Yeah, that is where you will find it. My YouTube channel is Freaky Phinn, and and then I also have my first ASMR roleplay where I am a Naga who I'm a Naga that injects you with some venom, and then a bunch of just tapping ASMR triggers and stuff happen. It's pretty cool. If you are a fan of horror and music and ASMR, I highly suggest you check out my channel, Freaky Phinn. YouTube seems to be fucking me over on Creature Feature for some reason.
Dude.
My last song, Feed Repeat, took off. It got like 600 views in a couple of days. And Creature Feature has only gotten like 25. And when I tried to promote it, YouTube said that it was improper content or something. I don't know.
Inappropriate content or something?
No, it said improper.
Improper?
Improper.
This is improper. This offends my delicate sensibilities.
Yeah. So,
which is crazy.
Yeah, because it's literally just music. It's just horrorcore music. You know, it's just talking about spooky monsters.
And like the thumbnail isn't even like anything crazy.
No. The thumbnail, by the way, drawn by Kirrianna.
Yeah, I did the thumbnail
for Creature Feature and Feed Repeat as well.
I hope you like them.
So yeah, definitely check those out. And as for Kirrianna,
hi,
you're getting some stuff finally started.
I'm finally doing stuff. It's taken a lot of preparation, so it's like not out yet, but like I'm building up, and I'm probably right now I have like a 3D model that I'm gonna use for VTubing stuff for now. But I'm probably going to be streaming me making my new PNG the way I want it, because I have been workshopping the character that I want for like a long time now, and I finally like come to a final design, and I'm gonna make a PNG for now.
It's looking awesome.
Oh, I love her so much. She looks so good. I'm so happy with her. Oh, I'm so excited to show you guys. I can't wait to see what it looks like when she's done. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be streaming me draw her, and then I'm going to probably just be making like Let's Plays and like
art videos and
art
stuff,
videos. I'm probably gonna stream art, and then I'm gonna make like pre-recorded videos on YouTube of gaming stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm probably just gonna be playing like random little games that I enjoy. I'm not really gonna worry about like the newest releases because I'm poor and I can't like spend $70 every other week. But that's cool. There's a lot of like older games I enjoy. I like modding. I like doing weird stuff.
Yeah. And also we play games together too, so you might see me and Kirrianna shooting people in Call of Duty or something.
Heck yeah, play some Project Zomboid.
Yeah, or living out our apocalypse dreams in Project Zomboid.
Oh yeah. One of my favorite things.
So, and also, you're finally getting your Twitter.
Yeah, I'm finally like actually going to be active on Twitter.
So, with all that being said, I am at Freaky Phinn on YouTube and Freaky Prod on Twitter. And Kirrianna, I believe, is just Kawaii Kirrianna on both YouTube and Twitter.
Let me look that up.
I'm pretty sure that is your thing on both YouTube and Twitter.
I believe so. Let me see. Yep. At Kawaii Kirrianna with 2 R's and 2 N's on Twitter.
And it's the same on YouTube because I just tagged you recently.
Oh, perfect. Yep. Same app. Same exact app on both platforms.
And if you are watching on YouTube, I will have the links to all those in the description, as well as the link to 2 other people. One, Lazyenju, who does the little laugh in our intro and outro music.
Yeah. And
Nullvid, who is a very good new art friend of mine who I've been working with a lot. He did the cover for Rain, as well as he did the cover for the Naga ASMR.
And it looks so good.
It looks amazing. You get to see me as a Naga, and I look pretty good.
Yeah. Serious props. You guys are both awesome. Seem super sick.
Yeah. And then, of course, Kirrianna's socials, where you will be finding, hopefully, some gaming and some art. Also, I will link your Twitch, too.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And I'll be uploading art on Twitter, too. I have, like, a whole backlog of stuff that I'm just going to start uploading. And then once, like, the older stuff is out of the way, I'm going to be uploading all my newer stuff.
Yeah.
That I'll be working on.
So, stay tuned for all that. We got a bunch of fun stuff coming. And, one more question, because I don't know if we actually talked about this.
Okay.
Do you want to keep doing every 2 weeks? Do you think you can do that? Or do you want to switch the podcast to once a month?
Well, I've been streamlining my workflow. So I would say expect 2 weeks, but you might be surprised.
Okay. Awesome.
We will update in the next podcast.
Yeah.
Or maybe just via Twitter.
All right.
But either way.
So
we'll let you know.
Follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTubes, and we will see you guys in the next episode. I don't even know what we're going to do, and I don't even know if I want to say, because who knows at this point?
Yeah,
Kirrianna has the wheel. She's taking us on whatever adventures she wants.
It's a droopy adventure!
See you guys later.